Hi, and welcome to Blue's Garden, some spring cleanup, and just getting a few of the grow bags ready. My onions, my potato, also prepping or I should say cleaning up the raspberries, and my butterfly bushes, and my hydrangea. First up with my spring cleaning is my raspberries. I will be pruning, I will be fertilizing, and more. One of the things I need to understand when I'm doing this is the difference between dead canes, primocanes, and floricanes. I'll get to that in a sec. First thing I do, I use a fertilizer called Berrytone from Miss Boma. It's a granular, and it is a 4-3-4, nitrogen 4, 3, potassium 4, calcium. Now, the stuff that's overgrown on the left-hand side and growing past the border where I have some of my wood needs to get trimmed, and the height needs to come down about 4 to 5 feet, and that's about shoulder height. So this stuff here that's growing in my wood pile, I'm going to trim that stuff out, and then everything growing on the left-hand side that's starting to come towards is going out. I need to get rid of it. So dead canes are very gray. You have red primocanes. That's your first year. The floricanes are sort of a red-gray. Red-brown. And then the real gray, dead stuff, you can see inside, it's very dead. I just cut those as close to the ground as I can. And then like I mentioned, everything I trim to about 4 to 5 foot height, about my shoulder, a little below my shoulder, but around there. So all of the old growth that's above that, and any large crossing branches go, any broken, and any dead. I know to start this about when I start seeing some green buds coming in. That's sort of my clue to start getting after my raspberries. I do what's called chop and drop, and that is I cut the dead stuff at as close to the ground level as I can, cut it, and then chop it all into 3 to 4 to 5 foot pieces, 3 to 4 to 5 inch pieces, drop it on the ground there and let it break down. Here you can see me finished. The trim height is about my shoulder, a little less. And everything on the left is gone, and that stuff growing in the wood pile is gone. Trimmed it all up. Next up, I'll start my potato beds. They are in 25-gallon fabric grow bags, and potatoes need more potassium, so I use a granular organic bone meal, 4-10-0. In each bag, I put 1/3 compost, 1/3 last year's soil, and 1/3 peat. Mix it thoroughly. After that, I'll prep my onions. Very similar. I'm going to use 1/3 peat, 1/3 compost, 1/3 last year's soil, but I will fertilize differently. I will use, as I was going through, I actually found a surprise this year. I had a leftover onion from last year. I'll use a blood meal, which has more nitrogen. Onions prefer a lot more nitrogen. And do a handful of the nitrogen. And I also put in a fairly even granular from Dr. Earth. It doesn't matter what type, but a fairly even NPK. Don't get too bogged down, just as long as the numbers are close together. And again, 1/3 compost, 1/3 soil, 1/3 peat from last year, and mix it all thoroughly. Well, there's my garlic, one of my garlic patches. I have a big garlic bed, and then I also have a couple of the bags. I will do my prep with removing the old mulch, the old straw mulch, into the compost bin with that. Remove the old mulch, add my fertilizer, and then I will be adding in new mulch. New straw mulch. I use straw, some leaves and straw. So in each grow bag and then also in the beds, I will add in a handful of that Dr. Earth's sort of an even NPK. And like I mentioned, I will add in a new bed of straw on top of where the garlic is growing. Next task is to deal with my hydrangeas. I've got 4 or 5 out back and a couple out front. And luckily we didn't have the deep frost, so I'm already starting to see some leaf coming in. And I will deadhead if I didn't get to it last fall. There was one that I completely forgot, and I don't know why. Deadhead the old, off that goes. And I will remove any of the stalks that are broken or dead. So trim up, clean up the plant. Similar to my butterfly bush, I will remove any of the, I actually have a couple of the butterfly bushes, but remove all of the dead wood, clear it out, trim it down a little. I don't want it to be ridiculously tall, but there's some deads that definitely need to go. Cut all the dead wood out, clean out around it, and as I was doing this, I noticed a female downy woodpecker in my old plum tree. Please share this video, it really helps. Thanks, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Blues Garden tips.